Hey everybody, this is Eddie Aguilar. I am coming to you from the desert of Arizona. I am here with Mama Lee, and we are in the Heroes Room. And first and foremost, Mama Lee, thanks for sitting and spending some time with me and talking with me and sharing some stories. And obviously, we'll do a quick scan of the Heroes Room here shortly. But I'd like for you to tell everybody kind of who you are and kind of why we're connecting.
You bet. So I'm the very proud mother of Marc Lee, who was the first Navy SEAL that was killed in Iraq August 2nd, 2006. And if you saw the movie American Sniper, he was one of the main characters portrayed in that movie. He was Chris's portrayed in the movie. He wasn't Chris's officer in real life, but they portray him as Chris's officer. He was the SEAL that was killed in the combat scene. And in that scene, that's supposed to be me reading part of his amazing last letter home. And he wrote that letter about 2.5 weeks before he was killed. And that letter and Mark's story, how he lived his life, how he gave his life, have inspired people around the world in such a crazy way. And we started our foundation, America's Mighty Warriors, because of that letter, to continue to support our troops, our veterans, our Gold Star families, and stay in the fight for them. And it's been my honor to be able to do that for those who, like my son, were willing to give their lives for you and for me and for the freedoms we enjoy each and every day. And so I'm excited to be here with you today, and I'm so grateful for your support for the foundation.
Well, to give you guys a lowdown kind of how we connected, first and foremost, I'm a son of a Vietnam vet. He's a Purple Heart recipient. My dad was in Nam. He was in the Army. He was a point man. He was in the cavalry and airborne. And I got to witness the impacts of a veteran that dealt with a lot of PTSD, that the impacts of war and how war affected him coming home. And so I was a witness to it as a kid and growing up. So helping veterans has kind of been important to me. But if you don't know, also I've been impacted by suicide around 20 times. I've also almost took my life 15 years ago when I was in Chicago, Illinois. My son was 2, my daughter was 4 or 5. And I came close to taking my own life. So from that point, the impact of suicide and how suicide impacts individuals and families, as I've seen it happen in various ways, as a friend, as a brother, as a mother, as a father, the impacts of suicide it hits in a major and a hard way. So what I've done is I've tied the two together. The veterans who go out and sacrifice themselves, as well as the families, the moms and dads, brothers and sisters, and have come together. What I did was on this scenario here, I'm doing an event in September. So I'm going to do a major hike. I'm going to do a lot of hiking. I'm going to put on some miles, some elevation. I'm going to start at the North Rim of the Grand Canyon, go to the South Rim, drive towards Flagstaff, do Kendrick Mountain, which takes you up to 10,500. Then I'll do Humphreys Peak, so on and so forth. Anyways, it's a physical challenge for me. But to do something like this, I also wanted to let others know that, hey, if you work on it, you put in the time, you put in the energy, you put in the efforts, that maybe you too can overcome some of what you think might be your weaknesses, what might be your struggles. And I reached out to JP Donnell, who you know very well.
I do. He's one of my adopted boys.
One of your boys. And just a real quick one on this. I had to ask her if I could call her Mama Lee, since I'm not a Navy SEAL, so she gave me the okay on that, which I'm happy about. But anyways, reached out to JP Donnell and said, hey, I'm looking for a legitimate, because I know he works with Echelon Front, a legitimate organization that helps veterans. And he didn't hesitate at all. He replied back immediately, America's Mighty Warriors, Mama Lee, reach out to her and help. So after reaching out to the organization, reaching out to you, and this wasn't just a quick connect. And I got to emphasize this. One thing that I loved about this organization, or Mama Lee, is she even did a background check on me, which I liked, in the fact that if you're going to attach your name to me and what I created, I want to know a little bit about you. So, that surprised me, but I thought it was awesome though too. So,
well, we're still here.
Yeah,
we're still here. You passed the background check. So.
And so I'm even allowed in the Warriors room. But we talked about how the organization helps veterans. Like if somebody has PTSD, and now I've vented to you about the 22 push-up challenge. We're aware, okay? 22 push-up challenge, I get it, we're aware. What I am asking you to do or want people to do is to reach out and to help an organization that's already helping. Now, how does America's Mighty Warriors help veterans that are suffering with PTSD and going through all the other issues that a lot of us don't know about?
Yeah,
So
and we have 4 main programs in our foundation, but our big one right now is our Helping Heroes Heal program. And with that, for our veterans who are struggling with post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and suicidal thoughts, we have done a lot of research on things that are actually helping them. I feel so many of our veterans are going to the VA, and we've got some good VAs, but overall, what I hear back, majority of them, they're going in, they're given all the drugs. It's like, okay, now go away, don't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And 2/3 of those medications that they're giving our veterans for that have a side effect that says may cause suicidal tendencies. How does that make any sense in anybody's mind that you would do that for those veterans who are already struggling?
Yeah.
So we were looking for therapies that were actually healing them, not just masking the symptoms. So we did a lot of research. We were the first military charity 8 years ago to start funding appointments in the hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber with doctors all over the United States. And it's amazing as we progress through that. We started doing SPECT scans of the brain before and after because we've tried to change this with the DOD and VA and make this standard of care. If our men and women are willing to go into combat and fight for you and for me and potentially give their life, it's our responsibility when they come back home to make sure that they are taken care of, that we restore their health to them as much as we can, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritually. So these are the things that we have found that are proven to work and really make a difference. I can't tell you how many lives have reached out after they've gone through the treatment and said, I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you and your foundation. And the first time I was talking to, and we do all branches of the military, not just Navy SEALs, but the first time I was talking to a Navy SEAL about that. And I said, well, you were willing to give your life for me, I'm glad we could do that. He goes, no, stop. He said, you literally saved my life. And as I thought of that, I thought of Mark's final actions on August 2nd, 2006, was to run into the line of fire to save his teammates. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mark is still saving his teammates. And so to be able to do this for our men and women who are, serving, who have served, to be able to save their lives for them, oh boy, I'll tell you what, I miss Mark every day. We're coming up on 14 years. But to see that gives me so much pride in the choice that Mark made to give his life. But to be able to see the impact of his life, how it continues around the world, it's pretty amazing. So, I agree with you. No more awareness. Let's do things that are saving these guys.
Yes.
And anything that your supporters, listeners can do to help us with this mission, it is so needed, especially in the midst of COVID. We've had to cancel events and lost over $325,000 just from March to June. And yet we've had an increase in veterans who are suicidal in the midst of this. So we need to make a difference.
Even more so now with what's going on. And what I wanted to share with this on this is I decided to call this, so I'm adding a little bit of me with a little bit of Mark. And I was telling Mama Lee the other night I was sleeping and I woke up. And I had a pen and pad next to right where I woke up. I actually fell asleep on the couch, so I was whooped. But I woke up and something was saying, the next 10 on me. Well, I used to be a wildland firefighter. I used to be a hot shot. Worked on a 20-person crew. I did that for 10 years. And one thing I always emphasize is we focus on the next 10 steps. The next 10 steps. Well, how far do we got to go? How much further do we got to go till we get to wherever it is we're going? And if we're pushing ourselves and you're hurting and you're tired, just focus on the next 10 steps. And then you shared, I heard you on Mic Drop podcast, to where you said that when Marc Lee went in, one of his last efforts and probably one of his last words was on me. And something told me that this thing that I'm about to do isn't just about me. It's about all of us. I see people trying to do things. We got to find something, especially with what's going on with Corona. I'm trying to get us both in here. With what's going on with Corona, some people are struggling. We're trying to find purpose. We're trying to find a cause, not just veterans, just a lot of stuff going on in this world right now. But we got to start somewhere. And this is a start. This is my start for me to help veterans, those that have served, for Mark's sacrifice, for my dad, both my grandfathers, many of my uncles, your other son, your son-in-law, just many of those that are willing to sacrifice. And the next 10 on me is important because we all need to take a step back. We all need to look at our surroundings. We all got to step up, and some of us need to more so than others right now say the next 10 are on me. I got the next 10. You follow my lead, because guess what? You might need to pick me up on down the road, but right now I'm going to pick you up. And Mark did so in such a way that it cost him his life, but it also saved some lives as well. Mm-hmm. And so we're coming together. I want to help an organization that is helping people in a way that I can't. So we're all doing our part. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to talk about the 20 and 2020, right, if you want to emphasize what that is. And for this donation, as Mama Lee shares what it's going to be, when you do the donation, go to americasmightywarriors.org, do your donation. She'll explain more what that's about. Hashtag next 10, the next 10 on me. And then we want you to write down or type in a soldier's name. Whether it's you, and you're in the military and serving, whether it's Grandpa Joe, Uncle Bob, Cousin Billy, or whoever it is, to honor that veteran. And we thought about asking on how to ask for donations, but this is one way we're going to ask for donations to keep it simple, is 20 for 2020, if you want to share what that's about.
Right.
How that'll help.
Each year we've done a campaign. Not too complicated, whatever the year is. Yeah. We ask you to give that, if it was 2016, give $16 a month on a recurring basis. You can go to our website, sign up, click on 20 and 2020. If we have 2,020 people that give just $20 a month on a recurring basis, that's more than half of our budget for the year. And the impact that it makes in saving these lives is huge. I think, everybody, the military charities are all reaching out to the same top donors that can write a $500,000 check. And they write one or two of those a year. So you've got hundreds of people trying to get that money, and lots of times you don't get it. And so when I was working on the budget and breaking that down and thinking, everybody should be able to do something, okay, give up a couple cups of your Starbucks coffee for the month, not the week, but for a month. Say, our veterans were willing to sacrifice their lives, and many are back home and are struggling. Many did give their lives like their son. But what's a couple cups of coffee if I'm giving that up to be able to save a life?
Yes, exactly. So I hope you guys and gals got that. That's one easy way, $20 a month, give up Starbucks, or I like Smash Burger myself.
There you go.
Anyways, I'm
two on Smash Burgers a month.
Yeah,
and you're done, right?
Well, I'm doing a program. I can't have that right now.
Oh,
anyway,
well,
so I'm saving money, so that means I better donate. But anyways, so that's one way to help donate. What we're trying to do is everybody put in a little bit. Everybody help in their smallest way. Myself, I'm putting in the work to train to make sure I don't make a fool of myself, because it's going to be a 48-hour deal. So I don't want to hear that dude flopped. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. But another way is also, if you have a business and if you're prosperous right now during times, as I know some businesses are, and you can do a donation. What we're looking at doing is doing for businesses, a $500 donation will get your name on a banner. This is short notice. So as far as the business, if you're doing good, and if we don't have enough, we don't have enough, and we won't do a banner, but that's fine. But we figured we might as well see what we can do, especially
and when are you
social
doing
media.
This crazy 48-hour feat?
So I'm starting on September 10th. I'm starting on September 10th at 4 o'clock p.m. So I'll be diving into the canyon as the sun settles, and I will be going from north rim of the canyon to the south rim. Then I'll go to Kendrick Mountain in Flagstaff. It takes you up to 10,500 feet. Then I'll go to Humphreys Mountain, which takes you up to 12,600. And then I'll do Eldon Mountain. And then right there I got to figure. But what I'm going to do is on the 10th I'll start at 4. And I'm going to go until 4 p.m. on the 12th. And what we're hoping to do, this is another thing I'll bring up. This is not for sure yet. I will be ending at the in Yarnell, Arizona, where the 19 firefighters from Granite Mountain Hotshots perished 7 years ago. having been a hotshot myself, this is kind of more of my personal touch on it for me. As far as sacrifice, putting in the work, so I'll be ending around hopefully around 3 or 4 that day. And then what we're hoping to do depends on what's going on with the COVID. If one of the bars is open, which I've already reached out to, they were looking at helping to raise some money as well, and Whiskey Row in Prescott, and we were going to look at bringing you and another vet, if you'd like to share, that went through your program, and one other veteran that I know that has a powerful story. So that's kind of on the fence. We'll just see what's happening with Corona, but if you'd like to share on how your organization has even helped that soldier that you were talking about bringing.
Sure. So the gentleman that I'm speaking about, his name is Travis Blow, and he's one of actually our ambassador coordinator now for America's Mighty Warriors. But he was on my heart, and I just picked up the phone and called to just check in, see how you're doing. I'd spoke with him before. I knew he had some struggles, and we tried to get him into our program, but so many of them, they're like, yeah, it's not for me. Someone else needs it worse than me. And, he just kind of put it off. And he said, well, I'm struggling. Well, when you're dealing with suicide and someone's suicidal, struggling could mean it's just a crappy day, or struggling could mean I got the gun on the table and was ready to pick it up and put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
And so then my job was to discern, what do you mean by that? And I said, are you suicidal? Do you have suicidal thoughts? And he said, yes, I've had suicidal thoughts. I'm like, do you have a plan? He said, no, I don't have a plan. And of course, when you work with people who are suicidal, that alerts you as to whether we need to send out the police and do a wellness check, or I need to jump in my car and get over there now, or I can continue to talk to him on the phone. And we talked for about an hour. I challenged him with some things he needed to do and the mindset he needed to get. I often talk about our veterans in combat. They go out with their full gear on. They're kitted up all the way. They don't say, I don't think I need my gun today. Yeah, I'm not going to carry my ammo. It's too heavy. No, they go fully prepared for the battle ahead of them. And I tell them, you're just in a different battle now. You still need to put your full kit on. Yeah, no, we're not firing bullets at people, but there's stuff that you need to arm yourself with every day to be in that battle. And he said, okay, good, got it, I'm on it. And we got him in the program, got the hyperbaric oxygen therapy treatments, the hormone and vitamin therapy, got him done, and he's doing absolutely amazing now. And so I asked him in November, would you write a letter just sharing your testimony that I could send out, to in an email, in a newsletter? And he said, yeah, sure, I'd be glad to do that, Mama Lee. And so he wrote an amazing letter and sent it to me. And little did I know that he did have a plan. He had a plan that very night to take his life at work, and that they would find him in the morning. And when I saw that, you just go, oh, so he hadn't told me the truth, that he did have a plan. And just to know, that's just one life. That's just one of the lives that have been changed. And he's going to, come up and speak and share his story and share the difference it made and where he's at now and how that has completely changed his life. And, that's why he advocates so hard for our veterans. And if you're listening and you're a veteran that's struggling right now, please do not isolate. Pick up the phone and call us. Our phone number in the office is 623-537-5322. We are here to help you. And we've put out a lot of these requests lately. Just the other day I put on my Facebook page a post, a video, because 2 people very close to me just lost good friends to suicide. And there's hope out there. It doesn't have to be this way. There are people that care about you. There's things that can be done. There are also physical issues, not just emotional issues, especially for our veterans, who have the TBIs and the frontal lobe damage in their brain. And so there is hope. Please don't do this alone.
Well, I want to thank you for, one, allowing me into your home, 2, to allowing me to attach your organization and the memory of Mark to me. To me, that's an honor within itself. And then more important, I know it takes a special someone to do certain things, like a doctor or nurses or a firefighter, police officer, shooting, veterinarians, whatever it be. And some of us are meant to lead and help in ways that I couldn't fathom. And you're doing it in a way that, one, is honoring your son It's honoring the soldiers. It's honoring those families of those soldiers that have lost their lives or that have come back and that are lost, and they have no way to help or communicate that with the people. And just so you know, another, and I'm going to share this, and I hope you don't mind, but when I started talking to Mama Lee about this and talking about, I had published a book on the impacts of suicide, but towards the end, you had shared with me, you've been impacted by suicide as well. It's something that Mark had even gone through. So that lays down a foundation when a soldier or somebody needing help is, we talked about, it builds that rapport because you know what that brings. You know what the impacts of it is when somebody chooses to walk out of this world on their own choosing.
Yeah. 26 years ago, my husband committed suicide and took his life. It was my second husband, so not my children's father, but it's who they knew as their father. And it did. It's hard on families. Suicide is when you're the ones left behind to try to deal with that, the guilt that's there. Why didn't I see this? Could I have done that?
Yeah.
And but again, God used that in my life because He knew what was in store for me ahead, and He knew that I would trust Him to be able to use that in my relationships and in the foundation to be able to help other veterans. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's personal for our family.
Yeah, and so we'd hate to go like down, bring the energy down, but this is life. This is reality, and we're just touching on what we don't want to hide from the darkness. We want to go ahead and address it, acknowledge it, and start bringing light into it. And that's what americasmightywarriors.org is doing. I'm trying to help direct people to you guys so you guys can do what you can. And right now is a dark time, but I want to thank those, and like Mama Lee shared, I'll put the phone number in the comments on this after this thing posts to reach out to the organization if you are struggling. And she said it perfectly. You don't have to do it alone. Speak up. It's not little of you to reach out and ask for help. So
yeah, and that's not a sign of weakness. Lots of times I hear people say, well, I can't do that. That's a sign of weakness.
No, I see.
If you're going to be a leader, if you lost your leg in combat, you wouldn't say, oh no, don't take me to the surgeon to get it help. You would take care of that. And this isn't any different. If you're going to be a leader, and for those that you know around you that are struggling as well, how are you going to tell them to go get help if you can't take care of the issue yourself? This is actually, it takes strength and courage to be able to reach out and say, I need help. And that's what we're here for.
I agree. Well, since we're in the heroes room, we got to show some stuff off. I know we were pointing at. I can turn the camera around. We got to be careful what we point at in here. But would you like to share what we got on the wall over here real quick?
Sure. So those are actually Mark's uniforms. We display up there. This is the offices for our foundation, America's Mighty Warriors. It's also a home where other families, Gold Star families who lost a loved one, can come stay. So this is the heroes room you're in. We've got his boots and swim fins down there. We've got his awards. That's his Purple Heart Award that obviously he earned on August 2nd, 2006. That's my oldest son, Christopher, and Mark. And then we've got just lots of, I love my country. I love our flag. So you see a lot of the flag in here.
Yeah, I noticed. I knew whose house I was at when I pulled up outside.
We've got his Silver Star medal that he was awarded for his heroic actions, his final actions. And then down below that is his Bronze Star with Valor. That was for another heroic action he'd done in July. It wasn't awarded to him. Usually they award those when they come home. And so it was posthumously awarded to us. Down in the corner there is actually the cornerstone from one of Saddam's palaces in Ramadi, Iraq, where the base was named Camp Marc Lee in his memory. And that's actually Saddam's initials on there. So I'm like, take that, sucker.
That's cool. You got there's a lot. Now explain all these
So
coins.
these are challenge coins. In the military, a challenge coin is given to you typically from a commander or superior for something that you did exceptional, something that was above and beyond what your normal job. And they will have it hidden in their hand and give you a handshake. There's also a custom in the military that if you happen to be in a bar and someone pulls out their challenge coin and puts it on the bar and you don't have yours, you're buying drinks for everybody else. And there's kind of a rank how that goes through. Several people put theirs on there, but obviously you can see Mark's is up at a higher place. It's the place of honor, and that's his Memorial Challenge coin. So I kind of think that trumps anybody's. And
yeah.
then in here I have several of our presidential
Yeah, you're showing
challenge
me this.
coins
These
in
are
there.
stuff I didn't even know.
M&Ms that I got in the White House when both President Bush and President Trump up there. These down here are other Memorial Challenge coins from other of our fallen who stayed here at the Heroes Hope Home. So just a lot of history in here.
Yes, there is. And of course you got Jocko's.
Yeah, those are the books that my boys personally autographed to me. So any of those, go to our website. If you want any of their books, we've got them there, autographed, not autographed. We've got lots of merchandise. You can get Mark's Challenge coin there. We've got t-shirts that, all that helps support what we do at the foundation. 95% of what comes into America's Mighty Warriors goes back to the troops, veterans, or Gold Star families through our programs. We work really hard to make sure our overhead is very minimal. And you're one of the reasons we can keep that overhead low. People like you who offer to host an event to raise funds for us, then we don't have to pay professional fundraisers to do that. So anybody else there that's listening that wants to host an event, from bake sale up to a gala, please reach out to us, americasmightywarriors.org.
Well, there we have it. I want to thank you guys and gals for checking this out, watching the replay. Again, I'll put more information, the phone number for those of you that might be suffering, that might be struggling. And also, if you watch this and make it through the full thing, please share this. Put this out there. And while you're sharing it, don't just put it out there to share. Put it out there to... here we have an organization, and this is why I wanted to do this, especially with America's Mighty Warriors, is they're doing the work that I don't want to do. But I need to help them do the work that they want to do. So we can all step up. We can all help. We can all pitch in $20 a month. We can all do something. If you can't afford $20, go hit up the family, get $5 from 3 other people. There you go. Find a way. And that's the whole concept behind this, is finding a way, figuring out a way. And what was funny was I was doing an event with a couple years ago. No, it was last year with a group of individuals. And we had to sleep in the parking lot, or we parked in the parking lot. And it was myself and one other veteran that just got down and laid down on the ground. It was just laid down on the asphalt and took a nap.
That's what they do overseas,
and took a nap. But it was funny because you just make it work. Mm-hmm. Didn't overthink it, didn't struggle with it, just took the situation for what it was and made it happen. So you guys and gals, please share this video. Please reach out to Mama Lee. Go to americasmightywarriors.org. Donate at least $20. Doing so, hashtag the next 10 on me. So here we go. This is going to be a start of it, and then we can raise some money for this. Again, September 10th, 11th, and 12th, I'll be hiking the Grand Canyon, several other hikes. I have an event page created. I'll try and put a link to that in the comments here, so that way I can update you as far as, hey, here's what the hike for the canyon looks like. Here's what this hike looks like, and give you an idea. And also, I challenge you to step up. Instead of doing the 22 push-up challenge, I'm asking you to train. If you live in Chicago, get ready to do a half marathon, do a 10K. Do your part on the 10th, 11th, or 12th to honor the men and women that have served us and to help this organization. So it's not just me doing it. I was talking to my bro Jason earlier, and he was talking about stepping up. Hey, I'd like to join you. And the point is he goes hikes a couple mountains to honor his dad, who's a veteran. If you have somebody in your family that's a veteran, to put in the work, to train, to not just bring awareness. We're already aware. We talked about that earlier. We're already aware. So now it's time to start putting in the work and help this organization, help other individuals. So outside of that, any last words?
I think that's it. Thank you for your support in advance. Let's make this happen.
All right. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Later.